There are things we perceive as normal for our age. Your back hurts. Everyone's back hurts. Your knee cracks. That means you've lived a full life, and we get used to it. We take a pill, wrap ourselves in a blanket, and convince ourselves, it's okay, it'll be fine. But inside, there's a feeling that something is wrong. Something is wrong with the body. It feels less like mine. But here's the truth. Pain in the bones is not a sign of age. It's a signal. It's the body asking for attention. Not medicine, not injections. It needs care. And very often, all it needs is something small, a sip of warmth, a spoonful of the right food, a drop of sunshine. It doesn't demand miracles. It just wants to be heard again. Osteoporosis is a scary word, but in essence, it means that our bones are becoming hollow inside. Not brittle from old age, no, but from the fact that for years, we have not given them what they asked for. Calcium is not the main thing. The main thing is the ability to absorb it. And that is where the answer lies. Have you ever noticed why some people over 60 walk quickly, confidently, easily, while others drag themselves along like trees in the wind? It's not just about genes. Often, it's about daily habits. The little things they do for themselves, not out of duty, but out of love. Today, I'm going to tell you about one simple product that changes the condition of your bones in just a few days. No, it's not a magic supplement from an advertisement. It's not an expensive remedy. You can buy it at any store. But the main thing is to understand how and why it works, because as soon as the body starts getting what it needs, it immediately responds with gratitude. And you know what disappears first? The feeling of heaviness. When you walk not as if on stones, but as if on soft ground. When you stop being afraid to step off the sidewalk. When your hand can easily lift a kettle again, and your back no longer aches from getting up in the morning. Your body comes back to life. So don't believe those who say, you're at that age. Age is just a number. Your condition is a choice. And very often, change begins with the first spoonful, the first sip, the first, why not? So sit down comfortably. Pour yourself some tea. We are starting an important conversation about how to restore support, and to do it without fear, without pain, but with respect for yourself. It doesn't start with pain, or even with cracks in your bones. It starts with something we don't pay attention to at first. Your knee starts to creak more often. Your back aches after sitting. It's hard to bend over to tie your shoelaces. Something pulls, something clicks, and you think, it must be the weather. But your body is already silently giving up. Bones, like branches in the cold, become more fragile. But they don't break yet. They still hold. Osteoporosis is a word with Latin in the middle, but in fact it means one simple thing. Bones lose density. They become like a sponge, with pores and voids. And as soon as the emptiness exceeds the strength, a crack appears. A slight blow, an awkward turn, and there it is. A fall, a fracture, a hospital. And then we scream in pain. But the body started talking long before that, just not with its voice. Why does this happen? Because the body, like a house, needs repair. Every day, our body destroys a little bit of old bone tissue and creates a little bit of new tissue. This is normal. This is life. But with age, the rate of creation slows down. The rate of destruction doesn't. And if we don't nourish the process, if we don't give it material, we start to lose. Slowly but surely. The problem is not just calcium. You can drink it by the spoonful, and it still won't be absorbed. Because bone is not just a hard thing, it is a living organ. It grows, breathes, reacts. And it needs not only minerals, but also light, movement, hormones, protein, probiotics, and emotional peace. Many people become less active after retirement. This is logical. There is no longer any need to rush to work, carry bags, or hurry. But at the same time, the body begins to lose its stimulus. If joints do not work, they stiffen. If muscles are not strained, they weaken. If bones are not loaded, they crumble. Not immediately, but surely. Add to this a lack of sunlight. Over the years, people spend less time outdoors, and it is the sun that triggers the production of vitamin D in the body, the very vitamin that helps absorb calcium. So even if you eat right, but hide from the sun, your body is unable to take advantage of the good you are giving it. And then there is fear. People start to fear falling. They fear pain. And so they move less. The body perceives this as a signal. You don't need me. And it starts to shut down functions. It sounds cruel, but it's true. The body works where it is needed. The first signs of osteoporosis are not fractures. It's morning stiffness. It's slouching. It's a decrease in height. It's when you suddenly can't reach a jar on the top shelf, even though you could just a moment ago. Or when it hurts not when you're working, but when you're sitting, because the body begins to lose support. And the bones no longer hold weight as they used to. But there is good news. This process is reversible, not completely, but enough to feel strength in your legs again, to stop being afraid to bend over, to straighten your back and walk with confidence. All you need to do is send your body a signal. I am with you, and give it fuel. And that is what we will talk about next, about one simple, affordable product that helps bones not just survive, but recover. It's not expensive. It's not advertised as a medicine. But those who have started using it correctly are seeing results in just a few days. It's not magic. It's biology. Ready to find out what it is? Then listen up. So, you've been waiting, and now we're going to name that product. Simple, affordable, and most importantly, effective. It's kefir, or natural yogurt, without sugar, without colorants, without flavorings. A real fermented milk product that contains live bacteria, not the kind used in advertising, but the kind that really work, the kind that help your body not just absorb calcium, but build it into your bones. Many people think that calcium is a pill. Take it, and you're done. But without the right environment in the body, calcium simply passes through. And the best environment for its absorption is a healthy intestine, where good bacteria live. And it is fermented milk products that create this environment. Why kefir? Because it's light, because it's gentle on the stomach, because it's not just nutritious, it's biologically active. Its bacteria help restore the intestinal mucosa, reduce inflammation, and improve mineral absorption. And, pay attention, they also affect the level of inflammation throughout the body. Osteoporosis is not just about bones. It is also about chronic internal inflammation that destroys the body's structure. When you start drinking kefir every day, your body gradually responds. Some people say that after 3 days, their knees hurt less. Others say that their stomachs are no longer bloated. Some say that it is easier to get up in the morning. And this is not self-hypnosis. It is a physiological reaction. Inflammation decreases. The intestines work better. Useful substances are absorbed, and the body finally begins to repair itself. I know an elderly woman who was well over 70. She did not believe in all this advice. But one day, she started eating a bowl of homemade yogurt every evening instead of a sandwich. Just like that. No recipe. And after a week, she said, "For the first time in many years, I woke up without pain in my lower back." And another thing, kefir works better when you don't eat anything sweet with it. When it's at room temperature, not ice cold. When consumed separately from the main meal, either on an empty stomach or at night. Then it works gently but deeply. You can add a pinch of cinnamon, a teaspoon of flaxseed, or a slice of banana for lightness. But the point is not in the additives. The point is in regularity. If you drink it once, it tastes good. If you drink it every day, it works. Sometimes people say, "I don't like kefir." Often this is because they have only tried store-bought kefir, which is too sour, cold, or low-fat. But there are many alternatives. Mild yogurts, ayran, matsoni, even homemade sour milk. The main thing is that it is live, that it has life in it, because that is what goes into your body. It is also important to know that bones do not just drink calcium, they feel it in context. Without vitamin D, magnesium, and protein, calcium becomes dust. And kefir is not just calcium. It is a combination of everything. It's a natural support system. And yes, many people have had allergies or intolerances to dairy since childhood. But often it's not the product itself, but the way it's served. Fermented products contain significantly less lactose and are milder. If you're unsure, it's best to consult your doctor. But if your body accepts it, it's a treasure. And most importantly, kefir won't cure osteoporosis in 3 days. But it starts the healing process. It's like lighting a fire in the fireplace. At first, the heat is barely noticeable. But if you add more wood, it gets hotter. And your body starts to live differently. And when you get up on the 3rd day, not flying, not with fireworks, but simply without a crunch in your knee, then you understand. It works. It's not advertising. It's not a miracle. It's just your body that has heard your care and started to respond. It's one thing to know that a product is useful. It's another thing to be able to use it so that your body really says, "Thank you." Because we often hear, "Drink kefir," and we drink it however we can. In the morning, in the evening, with a pie, from the freezer, or right after a fatty borscht. And then we wonder why there's no effect. And the body is very honest in this regard. It works not for our convenience, but according to its own laws. And if you want your bones to really recover, and not just not hurt, you should pay attention to the little things. That's where the action lies. First of all, time. It is best when a fermented product enters the body separately from heavy food. Otherwise, the enzymes have no room to work. If you drink kefir in the morning on an empty stomach, your body immediately receives the signal. The day is beginning, and we are working. If you drink it in the evening, an hour before bedtime, the body perceives it as care, like a warm blanket for the stomach. Both options are good. The choice is yours. Another important point is temperature. Do not drink kefir cold, straight from the refrigerator. It's like pouring water on a fire. The stomach contracts, the digestive process stops, and instead of benefits, you feel heaviness. Take out the glass half an hour before consumption. Let it come to room temperature. This will be both more pleasant and more effective. Next, what to combine it with. People often add sugar, jam, or cookies. But then the main thing is lost. Balance. Bacteria do not need sugar. On the contrary, it hinders them. If you want to soften the taste, it is better to add a teaspoon of ground seeds, a little cinnamon, or a piece of banana. But don't go overboard. The main effect comes from purity. Kefir works very well in combination with exercise. No, not immediately after a walk or during exercise, just as part of a ritual. Walked, drank. Stretched, drank. Because movement triggers processes in the bones. It opens the door for calcium, and kefir is what comes through that door. It is also important not to rush. Don't expect instant miracles. Look not at one day, but at a week, a month. Keep a small diary, even if only in your head. How did I sleep today? How does my back feel? Was it easy to climb the stairs? You will see that there are changes. They just don't shout about it. They come quietly. Sometimes the body protests. It says, "I don't want this." Your stomach bloats, grumbles. Something is wrong. This is not always a bad thing. It can be cleansing, or it may be a signal that you need a different product. You can try yogurt, matsoni, ayran, or plant-based alternatives with probiotics. The main thing is to feel what your body accepts. And please don't drink kefir just to be good. Don't turn care into a duty, because the body feels the tension. It's better to skip a day than to force yourself to do something you don't like. It's better to drink with gratitude, knowing that you're doing it for yourself, not because you have to. Now, a little warning. If you're lactose intolerant, prone to bloating, or have serious stomach or liver problems, be sure to talk to your doctor. Not because kefir is dangerous, but because every body is unique and needs its own truth. And finally, rhythm. When you do something every day, your body learns to trust. It's like watering a plant, not with buckets once a month, but a little bit every day. Then it grows. The same goes for you. Pour yourself a glass, sit down, breathe out, and say to yourself, "This is me taking care of myself. This is me taking action." Do you know what the most important thing is in everything we've talked about today? It's not kefir. It's not calcium. It's not exercise. It's your willingness to be alone with yourself, honestly, gently, truly. Because bones are not just a skeleton. They are your support. They have held you up your whole life. When you worked, when you ran for the bus, when you carried your children in your arms, when you lifted heavy things and endured pain, they held you silently, and they continue to hold you. And now it's their turn to be supported. Supporting yourself doesn't mean becoming weak. On the contrary, it's a sign of strength, because only strong people are able to stop and ask themselves, "What's wrong with me? How do I feel? What do I need today?" Not sometime in the future. And if the answer is silence, calm, a warm drink, a sip of kefir, a leisurely walk, then that is care. That is your small daily victory. The body responds not to harshness, but to attention, not to orders, but to warmth. And when you give it a sign, "I am with you, I am listening," it responds. Maybe not right away, but it responds for sure. For some, 3 days are enough. For others, a week. For others, a month. But the feeling of lightness will definitely come. And then you will understand. It's not magic. It's just that you have started to be a friend to yourself. So I thank you for these moments together, for listening not only to me, but also to yourselves, for giving your body a chance, for perhaps asking yourselves right now, what will I do today to make it easier for me to stand, walk, live? And if the answer is, I'll start small. I will take care of myself like I never knew how before. That will already be the first step. Strength is not in medicine. Strength is within you. And it awakens every time you choose not to endure, but to listen. Don't ignore the pain, but embrace it with tenderness. Because your body is always there. It is not your enemy. It is your home, and your home wants to be warm. Thank you. And may your bones be not just strong, but alive. because what is alive is always stronger than stone.